forested hillside spread the broad ledge of cultivated land. Scores of farmhouses dotted the meadows. Smoke curled from countless chimneys, and faint cries of animals and children rose upon the gentle June breeze. A village of stone and wood lay directly beneath him, a village they would do their best to skirt. Andrew's eyes moved across the lanes and market square, but he saw no signs of danger. No matter how eager he might be for what awaited at the end of his journey, still he studied the terrain like the soldier that he was. The village of Minas below him was French. Nowadays the French were rumored to be allied with the Micmac Indians, and together they posed a possible threat. Or so his generals claimed. Personally, Andrew was not so sure. 2 years he had been stationed in this scarcely tamed land, and neither the French nor the Indians had signaled any threat at all. Not within his territory. Andrew had discovered that as long as he treated both with respect, they responded in kind. But such attitudes were called treasonous by his superiors, and he had learned to keep his opinions to himself. "Beg your pardon, sir, care for a drink?" Andrew turned in the saddle. "Thank you, Sergeant Major." He accepted the heavy metal dipper and drank deeply, then flung the remnants toward the trees and handed back the ladle. "Much obliged." A foot soldier lifted a dripping bucket to his thirsty horse. The Sergeant Major, new to the garrison, but a 10-year veteran of the New England colonies, pointed with his blade of a chin. "That a Frenchy village down below, sir?" "Minas, yes." Andrew nodded toward the scattering of hamlets surrounding Cobequid Bay. "Almost every second village you see here is French." "Seems quiet enough." The officer sniffed as he stared down the steep slope. "Course, you never can tell with them Frenchies. Sneaky, so I've been told. Bad as the Injuns." Andrew bit back a sharp retort. It would not do to publicly rebuke the man, not for stating the belief shared by almost every member of the officer corps. "Prepare the men, Sergeant Major." "Sir!" The man stomped away, shouting, "All right, you lot, on your feet!" Andrew pulled on his reins and swiveled in his saddle to check the 7 high-wheeled wagons, the only ones capable of managing the muddy trail. The men assembled to either side with another contingent fore and aft, weary and footsore. Andrew turned back around, raised his hand, and let it fall. The Sergeant Major shouted, "Forward! Ho!" The wheels creaked, the tin plates rattled upon the cook wagon, the soldiers shuffled and muttered and coughed and marched. Andrew knew them all by now, not just by name, but by noise and habits. He liked to bring the new troops in himself. It gave him an opportunity to test their mettle in the field. When the trail jinked around a steep curve, their destination finally came into view. Once again he felt his heart rate surge. There, off beyond the river and more fields and farmhouses, Fort Edward rose, stolid and stern and safe, and beyond it, the village of Edward itself. Andrew squinted against the morning glare, trying to make out the stone cottage at the village entrance, the one where the love of his life lived and awaited his return. No, he could not quite make out the individual houses, not yet. But the search alone was enough to bring a smile to his lips. Catherine was there, and she waited for him. He was as sure of that as he was of his own name. A sudden boom caused his horse to rear, and the mules pulling the wagons started their noisy braying. Andrew quieted his horse as he searched the horizon. He spotted a cloud of smoke rising from the fort's cannon. The Sergeant Major trotted up beside him. "Trouble, sir?" "Not at all." Andrew pointed beyond the land's final shelf, out to where billowing squares of white indicated a ship of the line sailing up Cobequid Bay. He called to the troops behind them, "Easy now. They're just signaling to an incoming ship." As though to confirm Andrew's words, the ship responded with a booming reply of its own. Andrew spotted the signal flag below the Union Jack. "Press the men hard, Sergeant Major," he urged. "We need to arrive in time to greet the governor's representative. General Whitlock himself sails in that vessel." Andrew spurred his horse on ahead. He was eager to arrive, to see Catherine again. Almost a month he had been away, a month of disturbing news and unwelcome developments. He could not help but cast another watchful glance at the French